much do you know, James, of your grandfather's story and what he experienced?
Yeah, well, the last couple of years of his life, he shared quite a bit with my brothers and myself and my dad. So yeah, quite well versed in his story, which is very unique. And yeah, we're very proud of his service.
Was he kind of reluctant to talk about it up until the last few years?
Yeah, well, I guess I was quite young in those early days. But yeah, from my father's point of view, it wasn't until maybe the last 4 or 5 years of his life that he spoke out about it. We didn't actually find a lot of what happened until we saw some books that came out with his story. That was probably how that started coming out. Yeah.
Can you elaborate a bit more on what his story was, and I guess some of the stories that he did share with you?
Yeah, so he fought in Greece in the Battle of Crete. So was wounded in the battle in Libya, the Desert War, Sidi Reis. He was captured. Then he was put on a cargo boat. Was on his way to some prisoner of war camps, and then it was actually bombed by the British Navy. He swam across, survived, but then got captured again. Spent the next year travelling through Italy and some prisoner of war camps, and then him and some of his mates actually escaped one night and worked their way over the Apennines Mountains back over the German lines and to safety. I think that was about a 4-month period there where they were travelling by night and by day, hiding. So interesting story. There's a few more as well, but we'll leave it there.
What does it mean for you to be able to honour him and represent that on your chest with this jersey?
Yeah, it means a lot. I think the older you get, the more you reflect. And for me, I guess in this period of my life, you are very grateful for the service that not only him and all the other soldiers have provided. We get to live in this society now because of that. So yeah, deeply, deeply honoured to wear this.
That mix of sport and military honouring can sometimes be a little bit blurred, and sport isn't war and that sort of stuff. But in this case, it looks like they've done a really good job of honouring the local regiments without taking it into an inappropriate place. So it seems to have straddled that line really, really well.
Yeah, doing it. I guess. Well, hopefully it's doing it justice. I guess we can't fathom what it was like to be in a battle or to be in war at all. And I think we just try to emulate what, the people in service do. They live by discipline, by honour, by courage, and that's what we try to do on the rugby field. And when we live up to those expectations, usually find you're on the good part of the scoreboard.
Zane, would you like to come forward, please?
Zane, can you tell us a bit about your relationship with your grandfather and his role in the Second World War?
Well, my grandfather was he was part of the Lancaster Bombers, Squadron 455. And he served in Northern Africa, France, and Britain. I think his squadron was one of the first to bomb Germany in the Air Force. So, it was pretty cool to, find that out when we did some more research into that. And I only knew him when I was very young, but he was always very proud of what he did in the service, and my family is certainly very proud of what he did.
And similar to James, honouring his family must be very special for you to wear that jersey.
Yeah, definitely. When I was talking to my mother about it, she got pretty emotional because it's a big part of, her life, all the stories her father shared with her, and he just was so proud about what he could do for his country, and so was she. So she gets pretty emotional talking about it.
You said you only knew your grandfather when you were very young. What are your memories of him, and is he a rugby boy as well?
Don't really have a lot of memories, but he was very, kind. All the people who go to war, they have a new appreciation for just living a normal life, so he was always very kind. But he was actually a big rugby fan. He served in the military for 7 years during World War II, and the only injury he ever got was playing for the RAAF against the RAFs in footy, so it's pretty funny, but I guess he was pretty lucky in that regard, where the only injury he had was playing footy.
And what does it mean to you to wear this in 2 weeks' time?
Oh, it means a lot. I mean, if I definitely get to play, it will mean a lot to me, obviously, because it just makes me so proud knowing that one of my family members got to go and serve and fight for the lives we live today, and it just means a lot to me.
Now, what have you seen from Tom this year that growth in his second season?
I think that's the key word, growth. Every game he's developing. He's the player he was last year. It's chalk and cheese. He's growing in confidence, in his knowledge and his ability. So I'm really impressed with the trajectory he's on.
all three, Lawson, Harry and Tom all seem to talk about how much work you've done with them when you haven't been able to play. What are the things you're working on with them? What do you, when you come to training and you go through those meetings with them, what are you working on?
Yeah, well, it's been an interesting season for me. Finding ways that I can give back, not being able to be on the field. And yeah, part of that is helping guide the younger guys in our team. It's not only, I guess, our 10s, but other playing groups as well. But yeah, look, they're each different players. Like, I could tell you a lot about each of them individually and the elements of their game that they want to work on, and also parts that I'm seeing that I'm helping them in different ways. But yeah, a lot of it is, I guess you'd talk around momentum, managing a game, managing, I guess, the different elements of when to strike, when to kick, when to pass, when to alleviate pressure.
With those 10s as well, I mean, they're probably playing behind a depleted forward pack with no Seru and no Fraser. Also a new halfback's going to be coming in. I mean, does their role change at all with fewer troops out there they're normally used to playing with?
I think that's the beauty of what we have this year is we have troops and everyone's up-speeded and upskilled. At the start of pre-season, we had the whole academy training with us as well. So all across the board at the Reds, we're playing the same system, the same shapes, it's the same language, our unique language. So in terms of, when you lose a player, you lose one element, but you can gain another. So for us, it's a different game plan this week. But yeah, you're going to have to wait and see how they adapt to that.
You've had to be on the sidelines during a really successful start to the year and now 3 straight losses. How have you coped being on the sidelines, watching 2 very different months of footy?
I guess when I watch rugby, I probably watch it a little bit differently. I'm watching moments and how many moments we're winning. The chess battle of territory, possession. And to be fair, there's areas of our game that we need to work on, but it's been pretty consistent that we've had little growths. We might not be winning on the scoreboard the last 3 weeks, but I'm still seeing a lot of positives that are coming out of it. So yeah, it's tough. It's always tough when you're on the sidelines and you're in rehab, because I play rugby not to train, I play rugby to be able to play. That's where I get my joy, is Friday or Saturday out there. That's one of the greatest parts of my life, has been able to take the field. So that's probably been the hardest thing, is having to be patient, really learning the art of patience at the moment.
How close were you to playing this week, given where the season sits at the moment? Did you think about pushing it to try and get back Friday night?
Well, we're not reacting at all. It's not that it's early days, but there's a process, and I really appreciate, I guess, where the coaches are sitting and the medical staff as well. It's not, okay, let's just rush someone back in because we might have lost the game or whatnot. This is a process, this is a plan we've made. Are we stepping through it? Have I ticked the boxes? Have I got through Monday's session to be able to get to Wednesday's session? And so, yeah, I'm very appreciative of the patience they've had in me also.
So what has been the extent of the injury? Because I guess when it first happened, we were sort of told maybe 3 to 4 weeks there. We're now into round 8, I think, and still not looking at it. Was there a setback at all, or is it just they're really nursing it?
Well, I guess tendons. It's the first time I've really done a tendon injury. So you get given a range. Yeah, I guess everything, your muscle, your tendon, your ligaments, it's all pretty much the same substance. It just comes together a little bit differently. So yeah, a tendon can be anywhere from 8 weeks to 12 weeks. I was hoping I'd be on the front end of the 8 weeks, but it's just looking like it's the back end of it. That's just the process of my natural healing. And then also, I think it was a pretty, if we look back on the scans, it was a pretty big 2C. So yeah, that's the reality of it.
Is there I've watched you train a couple of times, and a couple of weeks ago you looked really good, and you were doing a session, and I thought you were pretty close to playing, and then the next week you didn't train it at all. How frustrating is that sort of roller coaster?
That's the art of patience, that one. And yeah, one I'm learning. I guess, like I've said, I've never had a problem with a tendon in my career. I've had ankles, I've torn a groin and whatnot, and this one's proven to be interesting. But in a way as well, I'm learning a lot more about the game, having to pull it apart in ways I haven't, even having to teach knowledge to different, playing positional groups in the team as well. I'm trying to share in different ways, and that's upskilling my content as well. So I know when I eventually get out there, I'll be firing, so I'm excited.
Is that, you're hopeful you can actually wear this?
I've been hopeful the last 5. It won't be this week, but yeah, I am hopeful for the next 9. And again, a big part of this is to make sure that I don't come back too early. And with this sort of injury, you see a lot of repeats, which is why I probably could have come back around that earlier period. But there is a lot of data showing from around the world that after these injuries, if you come back on that shorter end, you have a 50% like recurrence rate, which has been part of our discussions and our decisions, which I've been included in terms of taking our time and being patient with it. So when I come back, it's strong and there won't be another hiccup. I'll be able to finish the season and hopefully drive further on into that.
You were really, at the start of the year, you're really confident, or at least you wanted to sign a new contract, play another year. Has this changed your mind at all? Like, it's a very frustrating thing. Maybe you go, I don't want to go another year of doing all of this. Has it changed your mind in any way?
No, not at all. Like, that's definitely played in my mind, those thoughts, and everyone has those thoughts. Oh, like, I've got to get back, I've got to get this contract, I've got to get back. If I want to wear a gold jersey, I've got to do this. Like, I've got to help my team get to this position. Like, I want to be out there even just for the enjoyment of playing. But yeah, when I boil it back down to it, like, I truly believe everything happens for a reason, and I'll be ready when I'm ready. So, but yeah, the drive's definitely, the hunger's there, that's for sure.
Speaking of that gold jersey, has there been any dialogue with the Wallabies coaching staff so far this season?
No, there hasn't.
So obviously that's still the goal, but getting into that Reds jersey, primary focus. Do you have a set date for this Blues game coming up?
Yeah, so like I don't actually have like a goal. My plan is to play for the Reds, and then what happens after that, it all depends on how I'm playing, how my body's adapting. And like, I've been watching the whole comp, and all the 10s playing in the Australian competitions, they're really stepping up. Like, I've been really impressed watching, Donaldson, watching Carter, watching Noah, watching Tommy, like all our 10s. I've been impressed in just the way they've developed their games. Like, not arrogantly, but maybe 2 years ago, they definitely weren't at that place. Now they're actually managing teams. They're independently changing the flow of games to win. All of them in different games that I've seen, they've stepped up in their own unique way. So it's like, I want to play against the best, so I'm excited to challenge myself against them and see where we go.
Do you know what your role will be when you do come back? Because I guess with the way Tom and Harry have been playing, hard to get that 10 jersey back, but it also looks like that with such close losses in those 3 losses as well, maybe the experience coming off the bench could have been pretty valuable in closing that out. Do you know what your role's going to look like?
You seem to know what my role will be.
A complete guess.
Well, I've got intentions, and I've got my priority of what I would like my role to be. But again, it comes down to what's going to be best for the team, and that's, again, I've got to get back first, and then that'll be a conversation of where we're at as a group and what's going to, I guess, best serve even the team we're playing. What I've really, I guess, respected this year has been the rotation policy that Les is stuck by. He said he would do it, and he's stuck by it. He's freshening guys up. He's giving other guys, a chance to grow their game and develop. So yeah, probably to answer your question, I'm not sure yet. I'd love to share my thoughts on it, but probably not quite yet.
Zane, you've been on the front lines for these past few weeks as the Reds have gone from 3-1 to now 3-4. Has there been a notable shift in camp around attitude to games? Can you tell us a bit about how the squad has resolved to bounce back from this dip as well?
I guess the way we've sort of changed things is we're just focusing more on basics and going back to doing the simple things right. I think that was one of the driving forces in our great start, was we were nailing all the simple stuff and just doing our basics right. Just hard work and playing front foot footy. And I think in the past couple of weeks, it's been obviously disappointing losses, but I don't think we were too far off any of those games. Like, they were pretty close losses, but I think this week we're back home and we've had a good training session so far, and I think we're ready to bounce back.
Good match up front with Ethan de Groot in the mix as well. Are you excited for that scrum battle?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's a world-class scrummer. He plays for the All Blacks and plays really well for the Highlanders the past couple of years and this year. And he's definitely a tough opponent to verse. But it's pretty exciting when you get to play against that sort of player. So yeah, it's definitely exciting.
The depth of the team's going to be really tested this week. No Flute, no Sarah, no Dave, no Fraser. How do you guys, step up to cover for the loss of 2 Wallabies and 2 of your more experienced players as well?
Well, yes, it's like James said, we've had in pre-season we stressed the fact that we're not just a squad of 1 to 15 or 1 to 23. It's the whole 1 to 41, and including the academy, so 1 to 60. And we had a real emphasis on everyone being across their knowledge, being across their skill. So yeah, we lose those 3 players, and we've got new boys coming in, but I think they're up to date with their detail. And like you said, you lose that element, but you also gain some skills that they have that they can bring to the table. So obviously those bans and injuries are pretty disappointing, but I'm pretty